and his team from VetImpress recently won the Livestock Veterinary Agri-EPI Technology Hackathon Challenge. And their concept builds on the existing VetImpress platform and focuses on enabling farm teams to benefit fully from the technology in the face of challenges created by the need for remote working by vets due to ongoing COVID restrictions. So George, welcome, congratulations. We can see your screen, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Cassie. Just check you can hear me as well.
Yeah, we can hear you, George, go ahead.
Super job. Well, thank you first of all very much to the Agri-EPI team for inviting us along to present to you today. And thanks also to the judges who I understand they did a lot of deliberation, but managed to put us out on top by a narrow margin, I understand. So we're very happy to have been chosen from that for that challenge. I just want to give you a bit of background about our company and what we did before the challenge and what we still continue to do. And then on top of that, we'll show you a little bit of what we did during that challenge and what we hope to bring to market thereafter. So this is what our company's about. This is our why, as we like to call it. We work between farmers and farm vets, and we think we know something about what both want after 10 years of working with these two groups. Our view on farmers is that they really want vets to advise them independently. Many want to be in charge of their own decisions. They're happy to defer some of those decisions to their vet sometimes, and there is a special sort of trusted relationship that happens there between vets and farmers, allowing that to happen. But more than anything, they want to know that the vet is there when they need them, to advocate for them, to give a professional point of view about something that they're doing to others, to the wider world, whether it be to the food supply chain or to other suppliers, and to really be part of their team. And as far as farm vets goes, well, most of them applied to vet school due to some interest in animal health and welfare, whether it be coming from the fluffy animal point of view on it, or maybe having been exposed to farming through their earlier days. But these days, there is another angle on that. There are a lot more awareness and interest in how that vet's role also triggers effects in other areas. Of course, human health, sustainability of farming, and the responsibility of the use of Earth's resources, be it production of greenhouse gases, the use of water and soil, or the use of antimicrobials would be a big one on the veterinary side. So our company was created in order to support that, to support this relationship between vets and farmers, to strengthen the vet's ability to help the farmer in their role, by providing the tools that we felt that vets needed to do that, and providing the insights through data that vets needed. And certainly through the presentation, you'll see other things that have been mentioned already today, a lot about integrating data, collecting data, sharing and communication. All of that's really core to what we do. In terms of why our team gets up in the morning, then we try to encapsulate it in this, and even our technical folk, software engineers and data engineers, the whole company tries to have this as really our reason for doing what we do, and that's to prove and support the ethical and sustainable production of food from animals. So in terms of the challenges that we're trying to solve, farm vets are busy people. They have many calls on their time, and you know, having to drive around the countryside isn't the best use of their time, but that's necessary to go and see animals, to be in front of people normally, of course, outside of COVID, and to really understand the farms that they're working for. They really don't have time to be struggling with technology, to be struggling with data, to be sitting up till 2 in the morning bringing pieces of data together just to do their job. And that's a big part of the challenge that we're trying to tackle for them, helping them access the data that they need, helping them bring that together and have it in a usable format for them, so that they can get on with doing the job that the farmer really wants to pay them to do. It's quite a traditional profession, as many of you will know. So there is a lot of paperwork around, a lot of battling with different systems. And really, when we put up this slide, the part on the left, for most vets, we do get a pretty wry smile from them that, yeah, that's pretty much what life's like for them and has been for years. And of course, it's not entirely within the vet practice that there are issues. as has been said already by a few folk, one of the greatest challenges is the fact that no system talks to any other. So we've got so many silos of data in different databases, be it the government having some technology on the farm, ever increasing in terms of sensors and farm softwares, of course, and other parts of the industry and other suppliers to the farm having data that they've collected. And what we wanted to do was, first of all, help the vet get involved in that and sort some of it out, but also to help the vet collect more data than they traditionally did, because a lot of veterinary data was getting lost. So our solutions for vets all center around our VetImpress platform. The first thing we do is suck in a lot of external data from other places. We do a lot of validation and standardizing on that, automated by the system, and bringing it into a cloud-based platform. We then share that out to our vets to help them utilize that data when they're on farm and afterwards, and also to help them collect more data as they go about their job. And to assist with the communication between the vet and the farmer, we also help the farmer to be involved in that platform, having access to the same platform and sharing some data there as well, being able to collect data if they need to. We don't at all replace any of the systems that the farmers use. This is much more an offering from their vet practice to connect them to the vet practice as well. So we certainly not have farm management software or sensor or anything like that. We stick very much to what we know, which is how vets need to operate and how vets need to communicate with farmers. But we're part of that ecosystem helping that together, and we work very collaboratively with a lot of other technology providers around that space. So just some examples of what we do, helping vets with data collection in all sorts of ways, whether it be fertility data during pregnancy diagnosis, sick animals, other scorings and tests, mobility scoring, foot trimming, welfare scores, ketosis tests, all these kind of data that traditionally a vet would just take, understand, use there and then, treat the animal and forget completely about. And it tend to be the case, of course, that the farmer wouldn't capture that from the vet either, only perhaps the treatments that were carried out in a medicines book. We also help with evidence-based decisions, helping the vet use that data when they're on farm, being able to recall the history of any individual animal, being able to see the history of the farm and any alerts that have been produced by the system. So ease of use and being able to use it in practice on farm is a big part of what we do. We also work hard to help the vet have the information and the insights that they need immediately without work in order to prove their value to the farmer. So we don't think it's enough just to turn up and do what you do and go away again. We think the communication from the vet, and the vet's a huge part of what we do. We're not trying to replace that either. We think that the vet's ability to take that and communicate it in the right way is absolutely vital. So helping the vet have the information that they need to give the farmer the full picture, helping them understand why decisions were made is a big part of building that trust. Furthermore, we help vets work efficiently. If we're going to need to give them time to communicate more and to work with data and with analytics, we have to help them find that time somewhere. So a lot of our technology is also about the workflow of a vet's daily job and making sure that they can do their job very quickly. All this data would be no good unless we were able to report on it. So analytics and having information over time so that a vet can advise not only what has happened, but also start to predict the future, being able to see today what might be starting to happen, but also if we change something, how would that happen later? And that area of prediction is a big part of our future in terms of our continued development of our platform, helping vets to explain to farmers why a change might be made and then what to expect as a result of that. So as we said, today we got here by entering the hackathon that Agri-EPI Centre had put on. This was the challenge that was set. Can we create a digital solution that can facilitate remote consultation and diagnosis of dairy cows? Now, generally, our feedback from vets who are using our VetImpress system is that, broadly speaking, they are business as usual in terms of getting out there, driving around the countryside and doing the job that they're used to doing. In some practices, that's with smaller numbers of vets due to either people being off isolating or not being able to get out and about as much as they used to. Other times it can be they are still doing the same calls, but maybe not seeing the same people when they're on the farm. Perhaps older generations of the farmer's family staying away and only seeing workers on the farm or something like that. So we do feel that the conversations that normally happen between farmers and vets are more limited, even if on the surface of it, vets are continuing to look after animal health and welfare in a good way. So we decided that there was actually a two-pronged attack to have here. Obviously, we were doing a lot already with our VetImpress platform, bringing data together. But through thinking around this competition within our team of 6 people out of our team that we brought together to tackle this, we realized actually we don't do enough to help the farmer and the vet connect together, and perhaps especially not early enough in the process. It's great having all of this data, it's great having it all collected together, it's great having vets equipped to collect data when they're on the farm, but what about those situations when the farmer's trying to make a decision on their own without the help of the vet, when the vet's back at the clinic or off duty across the weekend or whatever? So we decided that yes, if we could design something that would help vets to get involved in cases earlier, then there were quite a number of benefits out of that. It could obviously help animal health and welfare to be more protected. It could help the farm to be more profitable, more productive. It could help with safety and efficiency of food. And more than anything, if we could increase consumers' confidence that the farm situation and animal health and welfare were being governed even more closely by vets, then perhaps that could also be a message that could be sent out in collaboration with the retail sector, so that consumers could understand just how much governance and care was being taken by the vet and farmer together. So we decided that it'd be great if we could have a system that would, first of all, be safe. We don't want to introduce even more risk to the system by replacing face-to-face visits with something else and not making sure it's safe first. So although a lot of farms have herd health plans, we thought, wouldn't it be great if that could be much more living, much more digital, to help vets and farmers communicate around that health plan all year long, rather than just reviewing a health plan once per year. So this process, which we've called Vet Access, starts with the herd health plan, making sure that the farm has one, that it's agreed with the vet, and that within that there are agreed protocols for what to do when certain things happen. So when a disease or process is recognized, that there are first and second line treatments, and when should the vet get involved. So although VetImpress is already doing so much data integrations, and you could say from that we're halfway there, we do want to move on to this other part where either through alerts being created from that VetImpress data, or by the farmer seeing a problem on the farm, that a case could be created in a remote sense. So this system, this Vet Access system, starts a case whenever VetImpress sees a problem in the data, or when the farmer says, I think I've got a problem, I want to start a new case. And that's with the vet and the farmer being remote from each other, they're already starting a case on this platform. The platform will send as much data as possible to the vet, first of all. It'll send any historic background data on the animal or the case. It'll also ask the farmer then to do a triage process where the farmer collects even more data being asked through a question tree. And that brings the opportunity as well for that to be driven by AI as the system learns what's important to ask in certain situations. The vet can then take that data and receive a request for a callback to the farmer. They can do that callback either by phone call or video call, and we can have that technology built into this so that they don't have to go off to something like WhatsApp or Zoom or whatever. They can do that within this platform. By having the video call embedded in the platform, of course, it means that on screen, using something like an iPad, the vet can be able to have the other data around about that they need during the call. So they're able to have the history, the farm history, the triage data that the farmer has collected about the case, any extra data that the farmer was asked to collect when the case was created, when the call was created. For example, a video of the animal moving or something like that, that the vet decides is going to be needed. They can have that prepared beforehand. And then during the call, the vet can have access to all of that information around the areas of the screen, as well as the ability to enter data on top during the call as questions are answered between the two parties. And then following the call, we also thought, well, the vet needs to do certain actions after that. It might be to approve a prescription to allow the farmer to go and treat something. It might be to set how the vet wants the case to be followed up. What questions need to be answered by the farmer the day after or 2 days later to make sure that the case continues to be looked after well and safely. So by combining these two systems together, VetImpress, which we already have, and VetAccess, which we proposed to the hackathon, we feel that there's a huge body of data that can be built up there between the vet and the farmer. And by our assistance to analyze that data, there are many other parties that would be interested to make sure that this system is safe, such as RCVS, to support the syndromic surveillance that goes on, or the passive surveillance that goes on at APHA with syndromic surveillance happening like this, helping other vets across the country understand what's being diagnosed in other parts, which may help with emerging diseases, of course. And of course, the insurance and banking sector, if we could make them aware that farmers are not only doing a great job, but that it's being governed in conjunction with their farm team, such as the vet and nutritionist, then perhaps we can reduce risks for farmers, enabling them to access better finance and better deals on insurance and so on. So our goals were really to increase the efficiency for the farmer. I think that's where it has to start. If this system is no good to the farmer, then no farmer's ever going to use it. And it's just going to be one of those technologies that sits on the shelf. So we wanted to make sure that it had enough of a value proposition in that area. And we think there are a lot of farmers who do feel unsupported in those basic decisions around animal health when something goes wrong, the things that they try to treat themselves. So if we could give them better access to the vet through a system like this, and through the herd health plan, better access to decision trees that enable them to take some decisions by themselves, then I think that could really support them in their work, and therefore would reduce the amount of time that they spend on all of these other losses. And finally, by increasing the vet intervention, there are of course many benefits for the entire industry. Improving farm productivity and profitability and sustainability is important to all of us, especially in the light of potential price pressure coming down the road. But the rest of the industry, including us who rely on farmers having money to send up the tree, can also have risks reduced when animal health and welfare are well looked after, along with great veterinary advice into the farmer to make sure that the farm is efficient and producing safe and affordable food. So we expect that to have benefits right across the industry. We're certainly looking to work with as many different parts of the industry as possible to make sure that this has the effect that we can foresee in it. So we're very glad of the support of Agri-EPI to do that, to take this into that special relationship between vets and farmers and see can we make a real difference there. So I'm very happy to have contact from any of you that are interested and think you can help us with this mission, or in any other part of our business that you've heard about today. We currently have around 150 vet practices with around 1,000 vets across the UK and Ireland involved with us and using our kit. We do work in other countries as well, across Europe and Australia. So if there's something in there that's of interest, please get in touch.
Thank you very much, George, and we're glad to have you on board. So we have a couple of questions that have come in from the audience. I'm going to start with one. Is the successful implementation of VetAccess dependent on connectivity links. Are there backup platforms for low connectivity rural areas? And is this the case with many agricultural areas in the UK?
That's a great question, absolutely. So although we know that the vet access system can be backed up by having data alerts out of the like of VetImpress, we kept it separate on purpose, and that's because we think this could help even when there's no background data, just to help those farmers, and perhaps those are the ones who especially need help with those kinds of decisions. I know my own parents are quite rural in their location. They're not particularly sophisticated as farmers, and sometimes some of the decisions that they make about treating particular cases, I scratch my head at when they tell me. So I can even see it from my own experience. If we could help those farmers just have more access to veterinary advice in an easy way, non-confrontational, something that they feel comfortable using, so that they can raise a case within the software, no background data necessary, be asked some questions by the vet or by the system to triage the case, come to a decision. I think even that process around creating the herd health plan could be a great start for them. The connectivity issue, yeah, I understand. You know, well, there are a lot of houses have Wi-Fi, at least these days, even if you haven't got some access out on the yard, on the farm beside the cow. So being able to go through that herd health plan and being able to choose some questions in there, and then having a traditional phone call with the vet can equally be part of it. But I think the system being the central hub of that, as a place to go, if we could help farmers realise that. You know, the first place they go when they see a sick animal is to that system. Take some of their you know, less guided decision making out of it and replace that with a system that helps them structure those thoughts. Then I think we could greatly help them come to a better decision about animal treatments.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, George. We have another question, if you don't mind. That is, aside from vets and farmers, which other players in the supply chain do you see being interested in engaging with the VetImpress platform?
Of course, certainly we've worked right across the industry really already in the company, from the food sector, processors, retailers, and nutritionists to the other side of us. So we know that these are all connected industries. They're all connected with each other. We work, of course, as well with other tech suppliers, both farm sensors and farm softwares and so on. And yes, we've had discussed already in the conference today how that's difficult because there are competition concerns or whatever. And we've also faced the challenges of even introducing this to our vets, where, you know, it's the, well, I'm not paying for it until it's perfect or until it has absolutely every connection that it can possibly have. And we've been so glad to have early adopters and innovators within the industry who are prepared to take that kind of jump and work with us. And that goes as well for those other partners. So we're very happy to work right across those sectors, get involvement, get that farm team around the farmer, not just the vet. And I think you'll find most vets very open to that too.
Yeah, and you left your contact details, didn't you, on the final slide there, George? So anybody that wishes to from today's conference or outside can get in touch with you regarding collaboration. And